Norfolk Hill Columbarium urged to tighten security after high-profile ash theft. And Beijing pledges continued support for Hong Kong's global financial role. Former University of Hong Kong Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering Chen Kie-chung has had his murder conviction and life imprisonment sentence overturned on appeal. At his retrial this morning, he was sentenced to 7 years and 4 months in prison after pleading guilty to manslaughter, which resulted in his wife's death. In August 2018, Chen Kie-chung, then the warden of HKU's Wayland Hall, reported to police that his wife Tina Chan was missing. Police later raided Chung's office and discovered Tina Chan's body inside a suitcase sealed in a wooden crate, and that Chung had strangled his wife with an electrical wire. Chung was charged with murder that same year. While he expressed willingness during the trial to plead guilty to manslaughter, the plea was rejected. According to the case, on the night of the incident, the defendant was kicked off the bed by his wife during a domestic argument. He reached under the bed to pick up slippers, felt an electrical wire, and then committed the killing. The defense cited a psychologist's report stating Chung had often been humiliated by his wife in front of others, amounting to emotional abuse. Suffering from depression at the time, Chung was said to have his rational judgment affected under extreme stress. The jury found him guilty of murder by a majority, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. Chung successfully appealed last year. The Court of Appeal ruled that the trial judge improperly excluded psychological expert evidence when directing the jury on diminished responsibility and ordered a retrial. At the High Court, Chung, now 61, pleaded guilty to manslaughter, and the prosecution accepted the plea. He was sentenced to 7 years and 4 months in prison. The court revealed that Chung has already been remanded for 7 years and 2 months. He had earlier pleaded guilty to preventing the lawful burial of a body and was sentenced to 28 months imprisonment to be served concurrently. Several ash containers in a columbarium at Norfolk Hill in Shutdown are suspected to have been stolen, including that of renowned martial arts film director Lau Ka-leung. It is understood that one person in connection with the case has been arrested. Celine Chan has more.
At Norfolk Hill, the memorial plaque of the late Kung Fu movie director Lau Ka-leung remains intact. However, his widow Mary Sean Haimao disclosed on her social media that she received a call from the Columbarium staff in August, informing her that her late husband's ashes had been stolen. Initially suspecting it to be a scam, she later confirmed the incident after speaking with the police. After opening the memorial compartment, she found Lau's ashes missing. Speaking in social media, Haimao said that in addition to her husband's ashes, other ashes were stolen as well. She made it clear that she would not pay any ransom for Lau's ashes. She believed that the stolen ashes are still in Hong Kong and appealed to the public for assistance in locating them. She said it was obvious that the security was inadequate as CCTV cameras were tampered with and gates were easy to break into, adding that the facility should have stationed more people on site or even get security dogs. Norfolk Hill also houses the memorials of several other late celebrities, including Leslie Cheung, Roman Tebb, and Lydia Shum. However, no notices regarding the incident were visible within the Columbarium premises. Some members of the public expressed shock upon hearing the news. Mr. Lee says stealing or vandalizing a loved one's ashes is traumatic for the family. Ms. Kwok suggests the premises to install security cameras at every floor's entrance. Norfolk Hill has filed a police report regarding the incident. The case has been taken over by the Police Organized Crime and Triad Bureau for investigation. Celine Chan, TVB News.
Hong Kong is playing host to the International Financial Leaders Investment Summit. In his speech, Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng expresses hope that the city will seize new opportunities and further align with China's economic and financial development under the 15th Five-Year Plan.
The Global Financial Leaders Investment Summit is about to begin.
Now in its 4th year, the International Financial Leaders Investment Summit brings together around 300 global financial leaders. Delivering a keynote via video link, Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng highlighted the resilience and vitality of China's economy, with Hong Kong continuing to play a vital role in national development. Han Lifeng says the 15th five-year plan proposal sets out specific strategic directions for Hong Kong. He hopes Hong Kong will seize the opportunity and strengthen cooperation with the mainland, while further consolidating its status as an international financial, shipping, trade, and innotech hub, and contributing even more to the country's overall development. Chief Executive John Lee says, despite global uncertainties, Hong Kong still presents abundant investment opportunities.
I'm pleased to say, puts us number one in IPO fundraising worldwide. Meanwhile, Hong Kong is poised to become the world's largest cross-boundary wealth management center in the next few years. To fast-track that development, we are enhancing the preferential tax regimes for funds, single-family offices, and carried interests to make the sector all the more attractive.
Lu Lei, Deputy Governor of the People's Bank of China, says the mainland would continue to deepen market connectivity with the SAR, further enhance financial support for the Greater Bay Area, and improve cross-border financing convenience. Vice Minister of the National Financial Regulatory Administration Zhou Liang said China is the world's largest credit market and second-largest insurance market, and the authorities will deepen financial cooperation between the mainland and Hong Kong. China Securities Regulatory Commission Vice Chairman Li Ming says mainland firms listing in Hong Kong would enhance the city's global competitiveness with complementary strengths between the two capital markets. A medical academic said potential breeding grounds for chikungunya virus exist in Hong Kong. There could also be infected patients who are so far undiscovered. The newly reported third locally originated case of chikungunya involves a 45-year-old male patient residing in Qingyi and working in Sheungwan. Professor Jasper Chan Fook Wu from the Department of Microbiology said in a radio program that his wider range of activities makes tracing the source of infection more difficult, and also proves that there are undiscovered potential breeding grounds for the virus in Hong Kong. President Xi Jinping sought to expand mutual investment with Russia and affirmed Beijing's commitment to advance ties with Moscow despite turbulent external conditions, Chinese state media reported Tuesday. Xi met Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin in Beijing's Great Hall of the People, a day after Premier Li Qiang held a meeting with Mishustin in Hangzhou, where Li said China wanted to strengthen cooperation with Russia and defend shared security interests. The Kremlin highlighted the significance of Mishustin's visit at a time when Russia is under major Western sanctions over its war in Ukraine and is looking to stem a recent slowdown in trade with China. She highlighted industries such as energy, agriculture, aerospace, digital economy, and green development, where the two countries could advance cooperation and foster new engines of growth. A trade and tariff deal was made after President Xi Jinping met with U.S. President Donald Trump in South Korea last week, with both sides making concessions. Renowned economist Professor Jeffrey Sachs, twice named among Time magazine's 100 most influential world leaders, gave his insights into the meeting and Sino-U.S. relations on TVB's Straight Talk program.
You can't win a trade war with China. You can't make unilateral demands on China. You can't apply what America thought was choke points on China. China's got more choke points on the U.S. than the U.S. has on China. I think this was, or I should say still is, a learning process in the United States. There's a lot of naivete, still some arrogance, still some delusion, but I think America's learning the hard way. You go to a trade war against China, you're not going to come out on top of that trade war. There are probably three concepts. One is, we hit you, okay? That was the American approach. Second is, we don't hit you. That's probably where we are right now. The third approach is, we cooperate with you. That's even a step beyond where we are right now. If it's cooperative, could solve a lot of global problems.
And still ahead, a special form of cooking in space. And a look at a new dormitory ready for imported workers. Welcome back. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration said it will partially fund the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, for November, after two judges issued rulings requiring the government to keep the nation's largest food aid program running. This as the first glimmer towards ending a near record-long federal government shutdown was seen in the Capitol on Monday. Tracy Furness has more.
Top Senate Democrats and Republicans took to the floor of the Senate to debate the federal government's SNAP food assistance program after the Trump administration said it will partially fund it, even though courts ruled that everyone can receive full benefits.
A few hours ago, the administration announced that it will provide only partial SNAP benefits to 42 million Americans facing food insecurity, even though the courts affirmed that the USDA has the transfer authority to ensure everyone can receive full benefits. Everyone can get full benefits. The only person standing in the way is Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Even after the courts have spoken, the administration continues to use kids, seniors, disabled Americans, and working parents as political pawns, dangling the threat of hunger over their heads.
Democrats shut down this government. Democrats have voted against reopening the government 13 times. Democrats are holding food assistance for 42 million Americans hostage, and they're going to do it again tomorrow. They're doing it tonight.
Meanwhile, the government shutdown has dragged on for over a month, and shortages of air traffic controllers are straining operations, with flight disruptions piling up across the country. In Houston, travelers wait in long security lines as flights are delayed or cancelled.
It's been a bit of like a hassle. My parents who are working right now too, they're missing their work right now. Me, who has school right now, I'm missing school. And so it is very tedious, and it's a bit of a problem.
Even as the two parties continue to blame each other, when asked about the prospects of ending the shutdown, Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune told reporters, "I'm optimistic," adding, "Based on my gut of how these things operate, I think we're getting close to an off-ramp here." Tracy Furness, TVB News.
Cooking in orbit, astronauts baked in China's space station with the world's first space-use oven. The hot air oven delivered by the Shenzhou 21 spacecraft has allowed crew members of the Shenzhou 20 and Shenzhou 21 missions to cook chicken wings and steak. With built-in purification, the oven allows smoke-free baking functions in a zero-gravity environment. By raising the maximum temperature from 100 to 190 degrees Celsius, it marks a step forward from simple reheating of food previously to actual cooking, from baking cakes and roasting peanuts to grilling meat. A drain maintenance worker in Mongkok died after being suspected of inhaling methane gas under a drain cover. The incident occurred in a back lane off Portland Street. Police cordoned off the area for investigation. Around 2 p.m., police received a report that a man was found unconscious at the location. Paramedics arrived and pronounced him dead. It is suspected that the man opened a drain cover alone and inhaled the methane gas. A construction industry union representative said under the guidelines, at least 2 people are required when opening a manhole cover or entering an enclosed space. As Hong Kong is seeing an increased flow of foreign imported workers, the issue of their housing arrangements has become ever more relevant. A dormitory management company has, for the first time, given the media a look inside the accommodation. Timothy Lee tells us more.
This imported worker dormitory, located in North Point, is just one among many than 100 of its kind offered by a local dormitory management company. This 700 square feet residence, which contains 1 living room, 3 bedrooms, and 2 toilets, can house a maximum of 16 imported laborers and is ready for its first tenants this Thursday. As part of its plan to accommodate the more than 50,000 foreign workers that have arrived in the city as of May this year, the dormitory management company charges rent for its facilities at different prices in accordance with designated regions. To meet the rising demand of dorms, the company aims to provide up to 3,000 beds between 2026 and 2027. This as the dorm operator's business development director stressed residents must follow certain rules to ensure harmony among fellow tenants, adding that they will add new digital services in the near future to increase resident privacy.
They cannot bring their friends to come to this dormitory, and they cannot drink or smoke so that they can live in harmony in our dormitory. we will install the smart lock for the main door so that every neighbor will have their own password, so that this will increase the security.
In a bid to deter residents from breaking the rules, the dormitory operator installed CCTV cameras across all 120 of its current dormitories. The captured footage is cleared every 30 days. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.